Ago, and he had, and he's like, dude, they broke into my truck, and they stole my cigarettes, my lighters, and they stole some magazines out the back. He goes, I had like 20 CDs in my console, they didn't take one. And I was like, that's a very bad sign, you know? I mean, because it's become, that's like, we all knew it was coming, but that's like when a thief breaks in, they steal your big lighters and they leave your CDs behind. Yeah. That's a sign of times.
Exactly.
It's a true story.
You have to use that sometimes.
And a heartbreaking story. So I want to talk a little bit with you about being an A&R guy at a major label. My job is to obviously find new talent, develop new talent. And you, as a tastemaker, aside from inventing the Warped Tour and doing everything you've done, you have a sharp ear for developing or for spotting talent early on. Obviously, you had no doubt Sublime before they broke big. Where does that come from, and what do you look for, and what are some of the other bands that you put an X on their back and said that's?
I think I look at it as a different way. I look at it as when I hear something, I think about. I hopefully, when I worked in the clubs, I was working 300 nights a year. So the live thing is always about me. And even now when I hear a song, I think about, can they pull that off live? Can they make that work live? I heard that Katy Perry track a few years ago, You're So Gay. And I booked her on the Warped Tour. I heard that's the only thing I'd ever heard of her. And I was looking for a song to a movie I was producing. And someone said, oh, she did a cover of this, but let me play this. And I go, something, I don't know what it is, that innate turn of something that, like, oh man, I gotta see this live. And I go, I gotta see that girl live. I want to book her now. I had to play the Warped kickoff party. It was her first real live show, and I go, maybe I made a mistake here. And you know what? We put her out in that tour, and she learned how to be a live touring act. And you go through all the things you've done in life, and I go, that's one of the things I'll be proud of. Like, Katy Perry, like, people really wrote, like, said, you're crazy, put her out there. And you know what? Watched her develop into a live act and a real human being. I mean, all the charity work she's doing now, I think she was exposed to out on Warped Tour. Dedicating $250,000 to Music Cares at the event I was at, and she's turned into a real artist, and you can't discount someone just because you don't like that sound. And I loved putting her up next to Bring Me the Horizon. It was the best setting, stage by stage, and you'd have and you'd watch some of those Bring Me the Horizon kids get sucked into Katy Perry, as they get stampeded by the Katy Perry fans running away from the Bring Me the Horizon crowd. It was cool, but they mimicked, and she became a live artist and a good human out of it. And I think that's the ultimate thing I want. I want artists, as they're growing, to become not only great artists, but great people. And I've stopped working with people sometimes. I won't go into it too much, just because I don't think they're good people. We're lucky to get to do what we do. We're lucky every day to get to do what we do. I mean, I know some days when you're driving through the snow in Canada, you're not so stoked, and neither am I, but we're pretty lucky.
Right. How many people have been to Warped Tour? Taste of Chaos? And then what's the other?
Mayhem Festival.
Mayhem.
And any of you been to Country Throwdown? I know I've sold about 100 tickets for that tour. So, okay, awesome.
Is that Country Throwdown, is that done, or are you doing
No, we're going out this year, and it's actually doing great. I think we finally found the mix. Last year, I was so stoked to get to work with Willie Nelson. It was the last artist in the world I wanted to work with, was Willie Nelson. So I made that partnership and got to tour with Willie, but I also realized that Willie's audience was like marketing to my dad. My dad likes to have dinner at 5, be home by 7. The tickets at 3 o'clock. All those other people, Jamie Johnson and everything below it, made no sense to these people. So it was a great experience, branding, and this year we're going out with Rodney Atkins and Gary Allen. I'm learning what I market to. It's active, it's involved, Justin Moore. That's going to be a cool little vibe. We're playing a lot of tertiary markets. Like I found out where Sparta, Illinois is. Does any of you guys know where Sparta, Illinois is? Cool, neither did I, so we're okay. But this is the kind of place that I'm starting to take that tour. We're doing Canada this year. I've got an idea that we came up on a bus. We're going to do a winter tour across Canada, take hockey rinks and put a bar down the middle, and make it into the world's largest honky tonk in the middle of an iceberg. So we're going to go out and do that this winter.
So when was the first year of Country Throwdown?
This is our third year.
This is your third year. The first year, I know that some of the market, it didn't go so well, right? It was,
no, it was interesting. It was those partnerships you make, and then it's always trying to figure those partnerships out. I have a very successful JV, and there's junior, and I've come up with these models, and it works for Mayhem with Live Nation. My JV with the country tour really didn't work out. It was just egos. It's a different whole model. So we had to go back to square one last year. We had a little bit more success, and we're finding niche places to make this work. I still think it's really cool, and ultimately, any of these things we do, we need sponsorship. I know some of you are going to be out there and like, yeah, you know, Kevin Lyman, you know, fuck him, he's good sponsors, okay? I went through all my books last night. I finally had to sit down and figure this out, and I realized that only on 6 Warped Tour shows last year did we make any money on tickets.
Wow.
Every other show out of 44 last year is subsidized by those brands you see out there.
Right.
So this year on country, we got cool Kingsford Charcoal. What a better thing for the awesome. So, you know, they're going to be out there, and we got some people being involved in the country tour. They're allowing me to bring the price down to the promoters. Go out there and have some more flexibility to make it work.
That's one of the things I dig about you is that you're constantly evolving, trying new things, and you're not afraid to fail and learn from that, and then do it better the next time. That's one of your attributes I admire, sir.
I mean,
what do you have to say to that?
No, failure in life, you guys, you know, it's you learn from failure. I mean, I know that's a term you hear and things, and then you have to go out and push it. You know, I see people all the time in business going, I'm dabbling in this and dabbling. You're all in my life. Everything you do, you're all in. And when you realize that you're all in it, it becomes easier. When you dabble in things, you start looking at things and you cut corners and you do these kind of things to make it work. I believe that you have to go all in. And, you know, hey, it gets a little easier to go all in, but still, I'm a small company. I've never sold to AEG or Live Nation or anyone else, and I've had lots of opportunities. But then I ask them, why would I do that? All of a sudden, I'm going to have to sit on stupid conference calls with you guys. And I'm not going to do it. I'm just not, I don't fit, I'm terminally unemployable, so that's why I have to work so hard.
So our paths have crossed over the years here and there, and one of the main things that happened with us is that we signed, along with Fueled by Ramen, we signed Paramore back in 2003. And again, to your tastemaker credentials, I love the fact that you know, we came to you, John Janik from Fueled by Ramen came to you and said, you know, we have this brand new band, the singer's 15, we think she's a superstar, Haley Williams, but we want to give them an avenue, a lane to go on, and you graciously welcomed Paramore.
Well, the cool thing about that was, it's an Orlando story, actually. I like tying it into your town. When we did Taste of Chaos, and I said, I want to see her. And her dad was driving around in the station wagon, I think, at that point. And they showed up, and I had to find a song. So I put her on the side stage right before Kill Switch Engage with an acoustic guitar. Acoustic guitar. And, you know, sometimes you put her out, and I put her up on that stage, and because I heard it, and I kind of got it, I met her backstage, and I go, she'll do it. I really did. Right the minute I met her, I was like, we're going to be, me and you are going to have a good time together. And I said, go up there and play some songs for me. And right before Kill Switch Engage, and like right after Senses Fail, she had to play, and you know what? She didn't get eaten. And I knew she wouldn't.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then we had her on the pink truck, and kept going and going. And that's one of the people that, you know, it's always like with Haley, I think it's like written into her deal with her manager. She gets to come play a Warped Tour every few years or a couple of days, no matter what. And, she's been a great mentor to other artists out there, and I think she's going to be a leader for many, many years to come. Just, you know, like Katie, and, you know, I'm really excited about, you know, right now Juliet Sims, another Florida girl who was Automatic Love Letter. I knew she has this talent, and I knew it, and I couldn't figure it out, and I brought her out with her acoustic guitar last year on Warped Tour, and then I pushed her to be on The Voice, and went to battle with her family, and now she's doing awesome. So there's a lot of great female singers in Florida. So if you're a female singer out here, you got a chance in Florida.
Just by nature of your geography.